First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. We have seen another day where the winds are cranking pretty good around 20 miles an hour, but the sunshine came back, and it has been really nice out there. The temperatures shot up into those upper 30s. We're now back down to 33 in Champaign, 35 in Springfield, and 36 down in Effingham. So, again, some very nice weather, but believe it or not, tomorrow gets even better with the temperatures. Readings tonight, just kind of hovering there into the 30s. More about the big warm-up, but how soon wintry precipitation is once again in the forecast. That's coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Tonight, it was an inauguration unlike any in history. Who's on hand in case of any backlash to President Biden's swearing in? Plus, the legal arm wrestling over a sheriff's race continues what lawyers argued today in court.
And also, a prison in central Illinois has been dealing with a COVID outbreak. Now the state is reporting more deaths at that facility.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans.
At a time when many of the inaugural traditions we've come to expect have been absent, one stayed exactly the same. The new president of the United States took the oath of office this morning. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. President Joe Biden called for unity moments after being sworn in. Former presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton were on hand for the transfer of power, as well as outgoing Vice President Mike Pence. His successor, Kamala Harris, made history today. She's not only the first woman, but the first black person and first South Asian to become vice president. Only a small, socially distanced group was at the ceremony because of the pandemic and increased security concerns. Thousands of National Guard troops stood watch outside of the inauguration because of those concerns, and dozens more guarded our state capitol. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield with an update on this very unusual security presence. Mark, quiet out there in Springfield today.
Jennifer, indeed it is. The entire Capitol complex, the State House on lockdown today, not just at the Capitol across town, but this old state Capitol too. Of course, a historic landmark, a heavy police presence here throughout much of the day. The National Guard just retiring moments ago. Also, state police telling me today they deployed drones high above the capital city, keeping an eye in the sky on any possible threat before it would arise. They called it part of a routine security measure, but it was anything but. There have been no incidents all week here in Springfield, law enforcement telling me. Also telling you word they had no word of a specific threat, just the general concern after what happened in our nation's capital 2 weeks ago. At the State House, one pro-Trump Republican, State Representative Dan Calkins, told me he took offense at the show of strength surrounding the Capitol this week.
I think it's a terrible image that this governor's administration is pulling out, trying, I believe, more than anything, to discredit people on the other side of the aisle. This governor is, I think, is inciting a backlash by doing that. This was not necessary.
The last time we saw a police presence this heavily armed at this building, the old state capitol, was actually 2008 when snipers and Secret Service were on the roof of this building. That was when Senator Barack Obama was tapping Senator Joe Biden as his running mate, punching his ticket to the White House there. Now he's returning 12 years later as the commander-in-chief, the president himself. Today, President Biden calling for unity again, much as Abraham Lincoln did at this very building in 1858, that famous House divided speech, calling for Americans to put aside their political differences, lay down their arms, and if they do, then perhaps the very symbol we see here of this armed presence, the line of defense against that perceived or real threat, that too could also come to an end as Americans come together in this time of a transition of power. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell. Jennifer?
That's what we're hoping for. Mark, thank you. Now, well, oh, Paul?
Yeah, while most former presidents attended the inauguration, now former President Trump broke with that tradition. He left before the event to fly to Mar-a-Lago, that's in South Florida. He told his supporters before leaving, quote, "We will be back in some form," and wished the new administration great luck and success. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence and his wife are back in Indiana. Now, last year, we told you about a teacher in Monticello who will be retiring after 33 years of teaching. One of Brad Garrett's favorite subjects is presidential history, and today was his last inauguration with his students. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer joins us from the newsroom tonight. So, Jared, you sat in on the class over Zoom. What did they learn about exactly today?
Paul, Mr. Garrett showed students at Washington Elementary just what the inauguration and an official transfer of power actually looks like. Garrett had students watch the new president take the oath of office and flag down other notable figures like the former presidents, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, and Senators Amy Klobuchar and Bernie Sanders. As a history teacher, he pointed out to his students how Biden will have one of the biggest plates of any president being sworn in.
What I try to draw out of my students is that they know that history is seeing the mistakes that we make and then making sure we don't make those same ones again, and that we learn from history.
He compared Biden's first-day challenges to Abraham Lincoln and FDR's first-day challenges to remind students that they are a part of history too. Mr. Garrett also added that he's proud of his students for not only watching the inauguration with him, but persevering through what's been a really unusual school year. Paul?
Yeah, no question about unusual. Jared, thanks.
The fight over the Macon County Sheriff's race was back in the courtroom today. The judge heard from witnesses, including the former Macon County clerk who oversaw the 2018 election. Tony Brown was declared the winner over Jim Root that year by just one vote. Root contested those results. Now, this was the first of 3 hearings that are already scheduled to talk about a handful of contested ballots. The next hearing is scheduled for January 25th. The third will be on February 11th. A man was taken to the hospital after being stabbed today in Urbana. He was seen walking along Kerr Avenue before first responders were able to catch up to him at Crystal Lake Drive. There's no word yet on what happened or his current condition.
A woman's facing murder charges after her husband was shot dead in Lincoln. Happened before 9 yesterday near Ottawa and Denver. Police found 77-year-old John Yates shot in his chest. Police say his wife, 67-year-old Kathleen Yates, called it in. She's now charged with first-degree murder. Investigators say a fight led to the gunfire. 2 more COVID-related deaths were reported in the last week at the prison in Danville. Reports show both inmates were men in their 60s. One died Monday, the other Thursday. The Department of Corrections is tracking 155 active COVID cases at the prison. Another 12 active cases are staff. Nearly 900 inmates have tested positive in total.
The COVID-19 vaccine rollout continues. We'll tell you just how many people have gotten their shots in central Illinois.
Plus, we told you restrictions were lifted because of a new hospital staffing program. We'll dive into how that program works.